football is at its best when it's about more than football. And part of Wrexham's story that doesn't get talked about enough, a reflection of how Wrexham's rise overlaps with the incredible story of the renaissance of the Welsh language. Iawn mate, sut wyt ti? Sut am y pethau iawn? And even more than that, Welsh pride.
You know that.
It was all right with it?
It's all right.
Get in there! So I've come to the beautiful Caernarfon in northwest Wales, a crucible of Welsh pride, to explore what it means to be Welsh and why that matters to so many people. Even though it was built by the English to repress the Welsh, there is a sense of Welsh pride. It's just the history, isn't it? I mean, built in 1283.
Get your guidebook out then.
Built in 1283. So before we get started, a quick geography and history lesson. You ready?
Yeah.
Wales is this bit to the west of England. We're both part of the larger Britain. Although we have our own parliament here in Wales, we are technically ruled by the UK government. But it's fair to say that our relationship with England is somewhat strained thanks to a history of oppression. Apartments fit for a king. I could see Paul Mullin in here. One thing the English could never take away from us or harness is our country's natural beauty. Its majestic mountains, awe-inspiring beaches, Wrexham Speedos, mate, ready to go. Serene forests and the spirit of our people. Wrexham! To be Welsh, it's a love of the language. Yeah, mate, sut wyt ti? Despite years of people trying to kill our language, we've stood strong and it still survives to this day. And with the Welsh Whisperer, he's a very, very famous Welsh language singer. Very, very famous. The Welsh language, a cornerstone of this pride, finds its roots in places like Caernarfon. 91% of locals speak Welsh as their first language. It's the biggest Welsh-speaking town in the country.
It's the pumping heart of it, you know, you don't hear much English around here, to be honest.
The Welsh language, like Wrexham, was once on the wane.
When you look at the bigger picture, God, Wales should be bloody extinct on paper, shouldn't it?
There have been numerous attempts by the English to eradicate it over the centuries. An example of this can be seen with the infamous Welsh knot, a piece of wood tied to a string and hung around a child's neck at school if they were heard speaking Welsh. It was used as late as the 20th century. The Welsh language has survived and is worn like a badge of pride and defiance against the odds. I was born in 1986 and my parents' generation were told there's no point teaching your kids Welsh, it's a waste of time and doesn't have any place in the economic world. Mae geiriau ein cynhadwyr sy wedi profi mor ddiysgog fel ein tir garw ni, yn gwrthod ildio. Despite pressure to conform to some of the notions of Britishness, successive UK rulers tried to wipe out the language. However, a cultural revolution driven by a resurgence of Welsh national pride has happened in my generation, in which the number of Welsh speakers has actually increased. Mae bron miliwn o bobl yng Nghymru yn gallu siarad Cymraeg, a mae 65,000 mwy nag 20 mlynedd yn ôl. Be di hwn yn deud I chi?
You just got to tell someone sometimes that...
I didn't have any links to Wrexham as a town, other than my tide being a fan. My granddad, or my tide as we say in Wales, is a first language Welsh speaker. Hearing my grandparents grow up speaking Welsh, it's just something that stirs you in the soul. It gives you a sense of belonging. He took me to the Stok when I was a youngster, and I remember walking up the steps for my first time, and I remember seeing all the Welsh dragon flags everywhere. From that moment on, I fell in love with the football club, a massive part of who I am. That sentiment is echoed in the Dafydd Iwan song Yma o Hyd, which can still be heard regularly bellowing from the Stok terraces. Gweitha pawb a phopeth, da ni yma o hyd. Despite everyone and everything, we're still here. Wrexham are still here. And that's why the song Yma o Hyd resonated so deeply with Wrexham fans. The story of the Welsh language and the story of Wrexham, very, very similar. People have tried to kill the language and Wrexham Football Club They failed because the will of the people is too strong. Since the transformative takeover by Rob and Ryan in 2020, Wrexham has not only returned to the footballing spotlight, but has become a beacon of Welsh pride, radiating its influence globally.
Ryan and Rob have done a lot for the Welsh language as well,
Yeah.
and put North Wales back on the map.
Yeah.
100%.
We them siarad Cymraeg eto.
Is that you? Pretty good?
So whenever we turn up to the Stok Kairas, there's a sense that this is bigger than the fans, bigger than the club. It's the cultural symbol of people who have defied thousands of years of oppression and despite everyone and everything are still here. Today's opponents are Wimbledon. They're also promotion contenders, currently in 7th position. But Wrexham has its own fortress in the Stok Kairas as we look for our 8th consecutive home win. Wrexham, poor first half. It's unlucky that, it's unlucky. Manchester in disguise! Manchester in disguise! The old Parky tactic, play like a bag of shite first half, it's going good again. Shite first half, and then second half we're going to smash it.
Always the same. Good teams all come out and have them.
Yeah. Oh, look it up! Come on! Come on! The Stok Kairas always gives me goosebumps. It's not just the stadium. For me, it's the beating heart of Welsh unity. It's like our modern-day Carnarvon Castle, standing strong for centuries, shouting, we're proud, we're defiant, and we rise.
A guy told me once, if you want to kill the Welsh language, you'll have to kill us all.
Catch up with Wrexham every Thursday on the Men in Blazers YouTube channel. Subscribe with notifications on to never miss an episode.